Welcome back to Less Lethal Contingencies. Alan here. So today I'm going to be running a couple different tests on my Pistelle X-68. I got a request from a viewer to try my version of the tuning spring anyways. It's a 50 millimeter long, 22 millimeter and a 1.8 millimeter wire thickness spring for a bolt spring. I had been running it for quite some time actually. Recently I just reinstalled my factory spring, which is a 60 millimeter long, 1.6 wire size, same 22 millimeter OD I believe it is. But I did reinstall the 50 millimeter 1.8 thickness bolt spring in here. He also wanted me to try it with the HD24 Long ASA plugged on 12 gram to see, what kind of performance we got out of shot count, I think, as well. Not expecting a high shot count because that's a lot of volume in there for a 12 gram to be filling up. So, but we're going to try it, and we're going to try it on a bore matched ammunition. This is a stainless steel, MCS stainless steel, 4.5 inch long barrel, threaded barrel. 685 is the bore size, and then we're going to be using the 684 AR Tactical 10 gram Joules. Okay, these weigh in at about 9.9 grams. I have 6 of them here in the factory magazine. I'm not expecting to get 6 of these, downrange here. In all honesty, I'll be surprised if we get more than two shots. So the last time I used this gun, yesterday I believe it was, I had corrected all the leaks, but now I just went and took the short ASA that I had been using off, and I swapped it out for my long ASA, which I previously had, or most recently had installed on my Intrabuster Gen 2, the Terminator carbine build. So there's no guarantees basically. The thing was shooting leak free yesterday, but now that I'm swapping things around, we'll see. Hopefully everything's still working good. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So let's air it up first, and if everything airs up good, then I'll put my airs on, and we'll take a couple shots and see what we get out of here. See if I did have that weird auto fire towards the end of the last test I did. I think it was shot 5. I didn't get all 6 shots. I got 5 shots, and then I had that weird little auto fire. So I also want excuse me, allergies. I also want to see if maybe this reintroducing the 50 millimeter, the shorter spring, thicker wire gauge, maybe fixes that. I don't know if just my spring, I had stretched the factory spring at one point, so I don't know if the spring's losing its tension or what's going on. Oddly enough, it was something that was happening on the tail end, right as it was running out of gas. It did that weird auto fire. So the running theory right now is it could be spring related. So I think I saw some comments that maybe it could have been related to the HD24 short ASA, which that's a possibility too. But I've been running that short on both guns, the Intrabuster Gen 2 and the Pistelle X-68, interchangeably for a while, and haven't seen that problem on HPA anyways. Haven't seen that problem, I don't think, on CO2 either, until I started running it CO2 on this again from the handle. So I don't know, I'm not sure what it is, but anyways, that's the reason why we're testing things too, is to kind of rule out some different things and get some data and have fun while we're doing it, right? Because we're always want to have fun. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me air this up and see what luck I have here, because my luck has been running out these days, right? But I shoot the shit out of my cranny. I've been having some weird O-ring problem. Actually, not so weird. Probably because I had the wrong material in there shooting CO2, so maybe not so weird. I do have some better O-rings on order that are heading their way to me, so hopefully I'll resolve that. Since I'm going to be shooting this more in CO2, I'm going to keep it a pistol for a little while, and I'm going to run the Intrabuster Gen 2 as my carbine. So, you know, for higher power. Anyways, let's see what we get. Everything looks tight. Give it a good hit. Hey, nice and quiet, so I'm a little psyched. All right, everything's good. Sounds like a good puncture. Looks good there. Let me put some hearing protection in. And we'll see. Like I said, I'm not expecting a hell of a lot. I mean, that's a big chamber. And honestly, I don't think I've ever shot the Pistelle X-68 on with the Home Defense 24 long ASA with the plug on 12 gram in the handle only. So I've never done that before. So I don't, you know, the only thing that I can think of is if it runs without any kind of weird auto fire, wonderful. But I can't imagine we're gonna get too many shots out of this. I wouldn't even expect, you know, I'm running 10 gram ammo too. I could run some lighter stuff, but honestly, I'm not really thinking we're gonna get more than maybe 2, 3. I don't know. We'll see if I'm pleasantly surprised, I guess. So let's turn the laser on. We got a mag of 10 gram. Let me just show you the ammunition here. All right. 10 gram Joules. That's 6 of them. All right. We got a Old Faithful here, a trusty, reliable X-Radar. All right. Shot 1, Home Defense 24 Long ASA, plugged, 10 gram ammunition with the 50mm 1.8 wire size bolt spring. Let's see what we got. Shot 1. 368 feet per second. That was really strong. 368. I still got pressure on the trigger, so that's a good sign. All right. Shot 2. 364 feet, per second. 364. I still got trigger pressure. Shot 3. 356 feet per second. That was shot 3, 356. I still have trigger pressure. I'm surprised. All right, this is going to be shot 4. Shot 4. 342 feet per second for shot 4. And I still have trigger pressure. All right, stump the DJ here. I wasn't expecting that. All right, what did I say? I'm on shot 4 or shot 5? Hell, that was shot 4, I think. All right, so this should be shot 5. Shot 5. 302 feet per second. 302 feet per second. And that one felt noticeably, yeah, that was less feet per second, noticeably not as powerful, but I believe it or not, I still have some trigger pressure. I think this is 6. Should be the last shot. Let's see here. Shot number 6. Yeah, 202 feet per second. I feel like I could have probably grabbed that thing out of the air. I'm surprised it even shot. 202. Yeah. So we managed to get 6, right? Yeah, 6 shots. And it looks like we were right on the tail end of the gas because I can see the bolt down the mag well. I can see the bolt hanging out over there. I can see the bolt tip O-ring as well. So it looks like we were right down the very bottom. Yeah, so I'm actually impressed because I wasn't expecting to get all 6, especially with 10 gram ammo. I was not expecting that whatsoever, given that this is a very large chamber. I mean, that is a big chamber. Matter of fact, with the short, I wasn't even getting all 6. Hell, even on the alien play, the test I did yesterday, right? I only got what, 5? Yeah, I got 5 shots, and then it was out of gas, and that was with the short. So I don't know if this longer one's just using the gas more efficiently or how that works. Actually, you know, I do know the difference, right? The difference is the 50mm spring. Dummy. I forgot all about that. That is the difference right there. Besides the ASA being longer, I have the 50mm 1.8 wire gauge. And we know the reason why we put those tuning springs in is not to get more feet per second, per se, right? It's not to get more power. We get it to move the power band around, to kind of smooth out, you know, instead of starting off with that hot shot that you classically see with CO2 guns, right? With air guns, you know, launchers. Instead of having that hot shot, it kind of spreads the love a little bit, right? So that you have them a little bit more even per shot, you know, across the spread of 6. So I would say, yeah, this was a win. Putting the 50mm back in there was a win. And not only that, but I got 6 shots off and I didn't get any auto fire. So I'm thinking that factory spring of mine probably is, you know, like I said, I did stretch it out, you know. I had tried that before. Back when I was having all sorts of auto fire problems with my, what build was it? Was it my Stormtrooper build? I think it was. I think I was having a lot of auto fire problems with the preheated CO2. And then I was also having it on the HPA too, as well. Anytime I went over 800, I was having auto fire, I was having mag drop problems, I was having, you name it, I was having all sorts of calamity. So, yeah, I think this definitely is a win here. Running the 50mm 1.8 bolt spring, you know, 1.8mm wire size bolt spring. I think this is a win for us, even with this much volume. You know, I mean, that's a lot of volume for a 12 gram, a single 12 gram to be using. And we got 6 shots. I mean, that last shot was 200 feet per second. So, I mean, it was laughable. But the fact that we even got it and no water fire is huge. So, yeah, I think it's a win. Anyways, I think it's a win. Let's degas this. Feel the bolt going back in. Yeah. All right. So as a little bonus, I got some of these 680, right? 680 marbles or glass jawbreakers or whatever they call these things here. I forget what they're called, but essentially they look like marbles to me. They're about 7 grams. I got 6 of these that a viewer sent me. Thank you, Barry. These were tossed in the box with the steel ball bearings. So here's another little fun thing we're going to do. We're going to check these out and see how they fly. Okay? So we're going to do that, but we're going to do that on HPA, right? With the 50mm 1.8mm wire size bolt spring. And we're going the Home Defense 24 Long. All right? So we're going to kick it up a notch, right? And we're going to also run the Reaper on here as well. So we're going to take that plug out and we're going to put our Reaper on. Our Reaper suppressor, which does not suppress sound, guys. It looks good. It's kind of a mock suppressor, but it does increase your feet per second and your joules. Results may vary, but what I've been seeing is probably 10 to 12 joules. It depends on my air source, barrel length, that sort of thing. But I've been getting a pretty decent increase with this, enough to want to run it. So, and it looks pretty damn cool, right? It looks cool. All right, so I need it on and off. I think what we're gonna use, actually, I'm just gonna use my slide check. Do I want to use 1100 psi on my slide check? Do we want to do that? Or do we want to do something different and just do 700 psi maybe? Yeah, let's do that. All right, I got a 8CI bottle here. We're just going to do some lower pressure. This is more comparable to CO2 pressures, right? 700, 750, 800. This is actually an 800 regulator, but on its best day, it's been 750 probably. Okay, so I think we're going to just do that. Yeah, so it's fully charged up, the 3,000 capacity. Okay, so we're just going to do some 700, 750 action here. That is what we're going to do. We already know this thing shoots like a beast on 1100, so, but I do need, this is a regular pin. This one doesn't have the slide check, so I think what we're going to use is, I think we're going to use this MCS slide check, and we're going to make it into a slide check. And we'll see what we get from this beast. We'll see. All right. Now the trick with these MCS slide checks, they are tough, especially under higher pressure. They're really tough to move. But the trick with these I've found is the twist as you push forward. And again, depending on how much space, I mean, this one may actually be a little easier to operate since I got a long ASA on here. I got more room to get my hand in there. But ideally would be to have something that you could put on here to grab a little easier. That would be ideal. And you know what? I gotta load this ammo as well. All right. So we got the MCS standalone slide check. We have a 700 psi. The most we'll get out is 750, but I'm going to call it 700 psi 8 CI tank. So these will be diminishing because it's not a very big tank. And I think that's on there good. Oh, I get that stock turned around. All right. That 13 CI tank would have put me way out with this too, so this is a little more comfortable. All right, and this will be comparable. I mean, we have more volume, but we're dealing with pressures that are more comparable to what we just did with the CO2. But between the Reaper and the extra volume here, we'll probably get some pretty decent numbers, I would think. All right, let me get this. And these are 7 gram, like I said, they're small. They're only like 680 at the very most. They could even be a little bit just under that. So we got 6 of these, 7 grams, 680s I'm going to call them. And we're going to run them through my barrel, which is a 685 barrel. So we're not going to be bore matched by any means. But we'll see what these things, how these things fly. And yeah, let's air it up. There you go. All right, let's air her up. All right, there we go. I have to put my whole, grab it like this. I can't get my fingers in enough to get in here and turn. The easiest way is I kind of do that and turn and push forward. So it's still not the easiest thing to operate. I really wish they had. I don't know why they couldn't make it work as well as the slide check regulators work. I mean, they sell those too at MCS, or at least make it checkered, like make this beefier, this pot here, so it's checkered, so your hands have got a little bit of silicone oil on them or something like that, or you're sweating and stuff. This is not easy to get your hand on and really get a good grip. They could have done a better job with that. If you're watching MCS, KT, if you're watching, you guys could do a little better job with that. Put some kind of checkered, something that you know, facilitates it a little easier to grab, especially when your hands are sweaty or oily. That would be helpful. All right. Anyways, that's my feedback anyways. Not that they care. Not that they care what Alan says, but, you know, that's my feedback. All right. 700 psi. What did I say this was? An 8CI tank? Yeah, 8CI tank. So we got these, basically they're marbles. Did I show you guys? I may have forgotten to show you. I think I do. I'm sure I told you. But they're like marbles, right? Yeah. 7 grams. They're actually 6.8, but we'll call them 7. 7 grams. Like I said, 60 and 680. So let's see how these things fly. All right. All righty. We'll take some readings on these. All right, this feels pretty comfortable. All right, we got 6 of them, so this is going to be shot number 1. 7 gram, 700 psi. Shot 1. 530 feet per second. 530 feet per second. Turn that motion sensor back on. All right. Shot 2. 538 feet per second. Shot 3. 538 again, feet per second. Shot number 4. 528 feet per second. And I just blew something. 528. All right. Oh yeah, the tank blew right out. I must have blew a... I wonder if that 011 flew off. I didn't see anything fly out though. I didn't see anything fly out. Let's make sure we don't have any air in there. So what did we get? Like 4 or 5? I guess we can figure that out right now. We have, all right, we shot 5, so I got 1 left. 1 left, 1 marble left. All right. Just keep that in there for now. Take the tank off. I'm going to pull the back out. Take a gander. Yeah, that tank was pretty much exhausted. That was only 700, maybe 750 the most PSI on that. I think we got some pretty good numbers though. 500 and change for feet per second. Not bad. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. We're going to open her up and we're going to see if she's willing to reveal just what happened. Did I bring a wrench down for that? Well, you know what? I ordered some. That's right. Every time I go upstairs or downstairs, I never have what I need with me. All right. Got these non-marring pliers, which are nice, but I like the other set I have better. Those will still mar for some reason. You got to be careful with them. They will still ding things up. Well, anyways, the MCS slide check, standalone slide check on and off. It worked good. Like I said, the trick with these is just, you know, getting your pause on there and it right, and then kind of turning as you push for, you know, as you turn it on. So it worked pretty good. Oh, a big mess in there. There it is. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to pull that ASA, that long ASA off and see if it was an O-ring. Because I lost a lot of gas. I'm guessing it had to be the 011 because, I mean, that was a lot of, that gas escaped pretty fast. So why not take a look, right? And what the heck, we're already 24 minutes into this because of my rambling. So sure enough, And this wasn't one of my, what do I have on here? That wasn't even one of my urethane O-rings either that I've been having issues with. I had stuck a red one back on this, which is actually the one that came with this from Home Defense 24. I had stuck that one back on because I was like, you know what, let me just try, what the hell, you know. So even, see, even their own are not staying on there, so they got to be they got to be slightly off. The dimensions must be slightly off, and they're just too easy for them to fly off. I mean, I'm glad we got through that first test with the CO2. But yeah, it just, let's go see if we can find it. It's red, so it should show up pretty easy. Of course, I saw the other day when I did it with the, when I had the 011 go flying out my urethane one, it's white, so I saw that real easy on when I was shooting. And that was when I had this on the this Long ASA on the Intrabuster Gen 2, the Terminator carbine build, Terminator build that I'm calling it. So let's take a look and see if we can find this O-ring. Last time it was sitting right in the trap. And there it is. And it always amazes me because, you know, it's like, see. Maybe it's easier to see here. I mean, other than some debris from my dirty trap, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that O-ring. Right? And this is actually the O-ring that came with this ASA from Home Defense 24. I had brand new when I got it. I didn't even run these up until recently. I took both the 021 off of the ASA, and I took the 011 off, and I replaced them with urethanes right out of the gate. Since the urethanes do hold up better, they're harder as well. This is pretty soft stuff though. So given it's soft, it probably rolls right out real easy. But I don't know. I figured let me try it because I've been struggling with keeping them in the marker, not flying out, right? So, but yeah, this looks great. I mean, there's not a darn thing wrong with it. I'm gonna put it right back on there. And this one came with it. Like I said, it came with it, and I mean, it doesn't feel real loose in there. I mean, sure, you can feel it spin around, but I don't think that's an issue. But, you know, maybe it is. I mean, like I said, it is a softer material. Like if you squeeze it up, it's a lot softer than urethane, that's for sure. But I actually ordered some Teflon, and I'm going to try. I just don't know if they're going to stretch over this well, you know, if they're going to be able to stretch, because the Teflon's, it's real tough stuff, but and it's CO2 rated. It's one of the best things to use, but it's not very flexible. So I figured, what the heck, they weren't expensive. So I was like, let me try them anyways. If I can get one on here, because they don't really stretch much, then great. I still have urethanes, which I do like the urethanes, but the fact is that I gotta find something that's not gonna shoot off the gun. I gotta find something that's gonna stay on the freaking pin. So, but you know, what am I gonna do? Like, you know, every other mag have to freaking put it back together. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So, that's one thing with the rear, with the tuning ASAs. They're so much easier going in than the factory one because it's longer. You can get your hand on it. You know, it's so much easier to do it. You're not going to cross thread it. So that's one thing I like about these. All right. Well, I guess this video is going long enough. Anyway, so we had some fun. We shot some 10 gram with the larger chamber on 12 gram plugged, right? And we also shot some 700 psi high pressure air. We also shot some of the glass marbles, the 680 marbles, 7 grams. And then we also shot our O-ring out the barrel again, because that's what we do here on this channel. We shoot our O-rings down into the target trap, conveniently, so we can reuse them. Anyways, guys, it's a wacky day. I hope you're having an awesome weekend. Thanks for watching. Peace out. And more to come. More zaniness, right? Peace out.